I don't know how to say this without sounding racist. Black African Americans are granted this land and they are not utilizing it to its full potential, and it's just going to shit to where white African Americans are using their land for profit and bringing money in.
This white American girl is spreading misinformation about Africa, about South Africa on the internet. Let's talk about this. Hey beautiful people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome back to my channel. How you all doing? Hope you guys are doing great. Before I go on with this video, I just want to put a disclaimer here. This video is for educational and commentary purpose only. This channel does not support any form of violent hate speech or any illegal activity. This video is for educational and commentary purpose only, okay? So this video is a video of a white American woman who went to South Africa, and then she decided to tell her followers and her subscribers that she has something she wants to share with them. And when she got back to the States, she decided to share what she thinks to be like an exclusive information. She said a lot of things that are so wrong. I'm going to censor a lot of this video, mute some of the words because she was using some words that YouTube will not be happy being on this video. But please use just try and add up everything she's saying because I'm going to censor a lot of her words. But yeah, let's go hear what she has to say, then we'll come back and talk.
Y'all remember last week when I was in Africa and I said I have a whole bunch of information that you don't know about because the media is not going to show you or tell you, and how I didn't feel safe talking about this until I was back in the States? Well, we're going to talk about it, so use your context clues because there's a lot of words that I can't use. I'm going to let you know what farm murders is, why it's happening, where it's happening, how long it's been happening, what are happening to innocent farmers, and then I'm going to tell you how I found out about it and how I wasn't supposed to know about it. Nobody's supposed to know about it. But I'm Brittany Scoville, okay? I'm going to find out that you're not. I don't know how, but I always do. So, hashtag farm murders is something that's going on across Africa, especially South Africa. Zimbabwe is just above South Africa, and we are about 45 to 50 minutes from the border. People are illegally crossing into South Africa and killing innocent farmers. Now, let me tell you what. Obviously, there's no facts. This is coming from a very trustworthy opinion. And I'm saying opinion because do what you want with this information. You're not going to find it anywhere else. Nobody wants you knowing about it. A, because nobody's going to want to come if they know the risk and danger. And B, it's honestly kind of crazy that this is actually happening. Some of the stories that I was told left a pit in my stomach, and I double checked the locks on my door. I don't know how to say this without sounding racist, but this is how it was explained to me. I mean, if you talk about race anytime, someone's going to call you racist. So this is basically what I got from what I was told. The government is granting people, white African Americans and black African Americans, lands, but the blacks are getting it for cheap or free. And I know everything's two-sided. This is just the information that I've been told. Black African Americans are granted this land and they are not utilizing it to its full potential, and it's just going to shit to where white African Americans are using their land for profit and bringing money in, whether it's safari hunting, livestock, or crop. I know that's like a very bold statement of me to say, but that's just what I was told. And so what these black African Americans are doing is the white farmers like 3,000 upwards a year. Because why? Because they are greedy and because they can, I guess. So I basically learned like why this was happening. So now let's talk about what is happening to the people. 2 years ago, I was hunting with my PH and I was on TikTok scrolling and I saw the hashtag farm murders, and I asked him, what is this about? And he hesitated as if I wasn't supposed to know about it. And he said, if you see anybody that you don't know, do what you gotta do. And this year I'm learning information from, I would say, a trustworthy source. He has family in the military and on the police force. And what he's saying and the stories that he has told me, this has been happening since 2020, and it's not talked about now, but it's still happening. If not, it's as worse as it's been. This is where you're gonna have to really listen and follow because I don't know if I can say most of this stuff. So what I was told is these people will come in, and even though you're in a gated area, a safari area, and you've got all of these gates and you're protected and you have all of these people with around you to keep you safe and whatnot, if they want you, they're going to and there's no getting out of it. They'll have walkie-talkies set up everywhere, so if they really want to attack one farm in particular, but it takes forever to get to the middle of it because of all the gates and the land, they'll sit out and have walkie-talkies and talk to each other, and when they come in close, everybody that's on that farm, they will tie up in a house, and what they do to the women is they will take a broomstick and yeah, you've one of my followers actually messaged me and said her brother was in South Africa and witnessed a woman getting RAPED, and they did nothing about it because it was Black Authority police. If you were white and you were by yourself and you have even if you don't have jewelry on, you're fucked. Obviously, there's some places that are safe and there's some places that are just not safe. It's like a red zone. You don't want to be there. Us Americans think that we have it bad. Basically, I left South Africa with a different standpoint of the world. That's why I love traveling. I get a different perspective every single time I go somewhere else. We've got a lot going on here, okay? But so do they, and so does every other country. There's always going to be good and there's always going to be bad. Everywhere you go, it don't matter. Did I feel safe? I felt safe because all of the PHs were there. But there's always that little thing in the back of my head that just I really thought I wasn't going to come back. Like, I really thought I wasn't going to come back. If you're going to South Africa on a hunt, like, coming up, and I'm not meaning to say this to scare you, I think this is something that everybody needs to know and talk about. Because this is something that their government does not want us talking about. And it's crazy to me that I'm one of the only Americans talking about this, and after I post something about farm murders, I have so many messages of people in Africa that are directly getting affected. If not them, they know someone who is. I truly wish I could tell you how bad it is through a video, but it's sickening. Like, you might be thinking the sickening levels here. Nah, I know this video is a little long. If you want any more information, or maybe I'll do some story times of some people that are getting... I have done quite a bit of research on, I think he's 18-year-old kid got... It was a big thing for South Africa, but I mean, it hasn't been talked about in 2 years. Seriously, if you have any questions at all, ask me. I will try to answer as best as I can. And remember, this is facts in my eyes, but it's not facts in your eyes, because I'm just a human talking on TikTok, and you are going to believe it or you're not going to believe it. It's just the extremes of, like, nobody wants you to know about this.
So that's our video. Let me know down in the comment section if you've heard of this situation that she's talking about. This got a lot of people talking, especially South Africans, to speak up and talk about this incident. This woman is claiming to be exclusive and all that and all that. Like, oh my goodness. Anyway, guys, let's go hear other people's reaction to this video, and then we'll come back and talk.
Y'all remember last week when I was in Africa and I said I have a whole bunch of information that you don't know about?
You didn't fact shit for check. I mean, you didn't fact check for shit. You spoke to someone who's really nostalgic about apartheid, who really misses the old days, who really wants to come back to the days, or go back to the days of white supremacy. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Farm murders, it's an atrocity. It's horrendous. But it's crime. And your numbers are way exaggerated. Damn. Most likely spoke to someone from one of the groups here in South Africa that has more or less the same ideology as your 3,000 per annum? Really? Did you know at its peak there wasn't even more than 100 per annum? Oh, and I love how you tell people that you're going to use code words and then you actually use the word farm murder. I was younger and I was tech savvy, then I would have a green screen pop up behind me over here with the actual facts. Oh wait, I forgot, I'm not tech savvy. Before lockdown, I did some research for a joke. That year, there were 72 farmers. And that weekend that I did the research, or a weekend prior to that, there were 78 murders on the Cape Flats. If you want to talk about white genocide or farm murder, it's an exaggeration, a gross exaggeration for white people who want to hold on to the old days and want to return back to white supremacy. You do know what us South Africans say about you, especially white Americans, right? Y'all are the most ignorant nation out there. You know jack. You don't fact check. You don't have the ability to do any critical thinking. Damn. And they call us a third world country. Do you know that there are people of color who gets attacked on those farms as well, who gets unalived as well? The media never mentions them. The media says farms and it's a white genocide, but there are more people of color dying on those farms than the media admits. Do me a favor. Spread this on your profile. Spread this on your channel so that this can go viral. Or have the balls to apologize for spreading misinformation from a nostalgic apartheid group that wants the old days to come back very desperately.
People are illegally crossing into South Africa and innocent farmers. Now let me tell you why.
Oh man, halt right there. I know you're not reporting on this. Who are you? Who are you? Because those same farmers that you're speaking about, are they South African by DNA or by birth? By birth of colonial default or by birth of indigeneity? Do you know how many white people there are in South Africa? 7% of our entire population. Do you know what that leaves us to? Being the 80% after the Indians and the Asians, etc. other. Did you know that there are black farmers? Did you know who are the people who work on those farms? Do you know what happens to the people who work on those farms? Did you hear about them being bait to crocodiles? Did you hear about them being for merely crossing a fence in their own home country? Who do you think you are? Hashtag farmer opinion that it's credible. Unamanga. That's a snyela. You can never get a real life experience if you're still seeking from the same people who look like you, who came into our country to come and colonize. Who do you think you are? Reporting back on our lands? Our lands? You Flintstones really be yabba dabba doing anyway. Talking about I was gonna report this once I knew I was safe. Get the out of here. You're not Charlize Theron. No one even knows your name. But I swear, go back to Africa. Go back to South Africa. Nas. I bet you won't. I bet you won't. Because you know that this is propaganda. Did you know that the UN had actually told the same AfriForum who were complaining about the farm that there was not actual information or evidence that proved that it was a genocide? You know why? Because more black people are in South Africa more than people who look like you. Because the 7% that you're speaking about, not even 50% of farmers, and the 80% of our population of people who look like me, majority of us work in those farms. Don't you ever empilweni yakho utter anything that has nothing to do with you. Wenzan, you're gonna spread awareness of what? Do you know what this clearly explains? How much uzonda abantu abamnyama lungundini. Ungazokhuluma ngathi. Then you want to include Zimbabweans saying that they're crossing just to do that. Ambamanga nje. For no reason at all. Listen to the people of the homeland. It's us, not you.
And then I'm going to tell you how I found out about it and how I wasn't supposed to know about it. Nobody's supposed to know about it.
Yo, you know, she's telling us information that we wouldn't know. She had to leave Africa to go and tell this information because no one's talking about farming. The fact that we've got actual entire NGOs and NPOs dedicated to the issue around farm safety, and also we've got like AfriForum that provides detailed reports on farm murders. Everyone's talking about it. Sweet pea. Another thing is, when you listen to the information she's providing, she doesn't even know the damn definition of a farm. I'll give it to you. It happens to be any takes place on a small holding or a farm, and it could be a farmer, it could be a worker, it could be a tenant, it could be a visitor, and it could be of any race, and it affects all races. In fact, last year there were exactly 50 farmers. So we have the information, but she only got this information from a white believer, someone that spreads disinformation.
Hashtag farm murders is something that's going on across Africa.
She said source is trust me, bro.
Totally unreliable source. I'm really curious who that is. Probably you were hosted by a couple of white Afrikaners farmers for the few days that you were there, because everything in your thingy post totally untrue. We've been living there. We were there. We're not there right now, but we've been living there for most of our lives.
My whole life.
Everything that you've said there, completely misinformed. And what's scary,
And you're spreading it.
you are spreading it. The whole world is getting the wrong information, and you people in the comments literally agreeing without being properly informed with proper facts. First of all, when you say nobody wants you to know, I wonder what you're talking about, because most of the documented and on social media stories, true stories, are dated from way back, telling us, showing us, even in the news, by the way, of the many centuries and years of how black workers or workers of color that are working on farms that have been killed and cruelly treated, discriminated against for so long. Nobody says anything about
for much
that,
longer,
right? And then the only time the news came out because there was a crime here and there on the farmers, even Trump speaks about it. And of course, most of you in the comments,
you eat it up.
You agree without being properly informed.
And she mentioned that the government is allocating land to different groups or whatever, and that when it's allocated to black Africans, it goes to waste because apparently we're not using it correctly, even though it's South Africans' land. But when it's allocated to white farmers, it's, there's money coming in from farming, whatever, and stuff. When it's not their land to be allocated to in the first place. That's one of the things that I commented. There's a few things. I wrote like a bunch of comments because there's only a little bit that you can write. But there's literally no such thing as discrimination against white South Africans for this specific matter. Yeah. And it sounds like she has not even been speaking to actual indigenous South Africans or indigenous Africans in general. It shows. And the fact that she's saying the blacks.
First of all, that land belonged to the blacks, like you called it, or initially, and then it's been given by force cruelly to the white folks. But having said that, that is not
working
even
the farms?
correct.
Who is working the farms? And so what if it's not being utilized to its full potential if it's in the hand of indigenous black people? It's not your decision. It's not the government's or white people's decision or whatever for you to decide, like, this is how they should be using the land that they rightfully own or that they should live on. But they don't use the land that they put black and colored people in the townships and Kailicha or whatever to its full potential for us, right? Do they do that?
And also, where are your facts regarding the fact that when it's given to the black people, it's going to be a mess? Where is it? I know of programs where black farmers own lands and they've been very productive. I would love to see your facts on that. I would love to see your proof on that. By the way,
Your source.
let's see, what about the many people of color, particularly also black people, who just find themselves in townships where they have to live in shacks because they've been thrown off what they originally were owning.
And that land is owned by the government as well, but it's not being utilized to its full potential to make sure that the people who live there are living nicely, like people in, like, I'm just speaking specifically for Cape Town because that's like the people living in Constantia or like whatever.
So let's tackle the matter of the farms themselves, the crimes on the farms, right? How many people? Let's do the stats. Let's look into the stats now. How many people?
Sorry, this is a long
of
video.
color that have been hurt on those lands versus the few little crimes that have happened against the white farmers on the land.
And remember, this is just because of the ratio. Majority of people in South Africa and Africa as a whole are black. Of course, if there are more crimes against white people, it's going to look disproportionate. That's because the white people are the minority. That's the only reason. And she has the audacity to call black people wanting this land greedy.
Oh my
Greedy.
gosh,
She said greedy.
who's greedy? Who's really greedy? The one that came and tortured and kicked
Stole
you
land.
out and sit on the land, and up to date you can't even benefit because you're living in a shack
Why does this
in
thing
a
make my
town.
teeth look yellow? Sorry, why does this make my teeth look yellow? It's weird. Also, why did you come to South Africa
To hunt.
to hunt?
You're hunting.
Why are you hunting? And you guys are truly gullible for like trying to believe someone who constantly keeps calling black and white South Africans black African Americans and white African Americans. Confusion. Analyze who you're listening to before believing.
Actually, she's talking about that if you're white and you have jewelry on, you can't just be anywhere. So only if you're white and you have jewelry. So crime in South, you are saying this is your fact, that only white South Africans or white people that have jewelry,
or even if they don't have jewelry.
So this is
as if the majority,
what should show you.
Right.
This is show you that she's totally misinformed, because crime happens in South Africa just as it happens anywhere in the world, and it's not about whether you're white with jewelry, because anywhere that you go that is a wrong area, including myself, if I had jewelry, criminals will do something.
The majority of people getting unalived and are worded in South Africa are black South African women. So it's like, I don't know, man.
Where do you get your information from? This, for me personally, it sounds like, as much as you like to say, oh, I'm going to sound like as if I'm racist. Most people that say they're going to name me as being a racist are actually racist or have racist tendencies, because they're trying to protect their own. Because you keep on saying comments that seem to cover or protect the white folks in South Africa. We're not saying that it's right that any farmer should be. It has happened, but to the proportion that you've made it to be, it's totally unacceptable, because you are ruining a reputation of a beautiful nation. In your America too, there are a lot of things that are very, very wrong.
One thing that I saw someone say is like, your USA schools are more dangerous than the entirety of this country, of South Africa. So I mean, I don't
listen. South Africa is beautiful. It's got some beautiful people. There has been racism for years and years and years. You should visit, but obviously any common sensed person would know where to go and where not to go.
Be safe like anywhere.
Just like in America. I've had some really unpleasant and crazy circumstances happen to me in America. Okay? I'm not going to dive into that. People should visit South Africa. People should visit the different countries with their own names in Africa. Not saying
the 54,
Africa.
All of Africa. The 54 countries, definitely.
Okay, so my message is use your common sense. If you've got technology, some kind of device, learn to do some research.
Analyze.
Beyond the education system of America. And also, your reliable sources, try to go beyond those. Go to the real people that are of the land than some white folks or white farmers, because white farmers have been known for years as the real criminals.
Bye.
Happening, where it's happening, how long it's been happening, what are happening to innocent farmers. And
Brittany, how dare you share the name of one of my favorite artists and lie and spread misinformation about my country? How dare you, Brittany? How dare you? My favorite thing about like non-South Africans in South Africa, when they come to South Africa or visit South Africa, is how they speak about South Africa. It tells me everything I need to know about them, because it shows me who they hang out with. Because you were hanging out with white nationalists. We have white nationalists in South Africa too. You were hanging out with them, and they gave you wrong information. They gave you insane information, because what is a white African American, what was that? And for you to say the government is trying to cover this or the media is not covering it, Tucker Carlson in Fox News, before he was fired, talked about this. So if Tucker Carlson has talked about this, we all know what Fox News represents in America: misinformation, fake news. Maybe this is a lie of white nationalists, because that news agency supports the white nationalist movement. Tucker Carlson, like literally, there's a Washington newspaper debunking what Tucker Carlson was saying. So, Bricketany, you came to Africa and hanged out with white people. Like, I don't know what is worse, this video or that black guy in South Africa protesting farm murderers on live and like doing a march and carrying a white cross. You know what? I'm not for farmer. Like, two of my friends are farmers, which is weird. I know farmers. And I would never want them to be. But like, to be a black person carrying a white cross. A white cross. Like, I know what white crosses mean. And I don't know which is worse. Like, people agreeing with that misinformation, white nationalist misinformation, propaganda, lying about there's a genocide in South Africa. But hey, Bricketany, and acting like South African government was going to come after you. I literally can call my president and nothing's going to happen to me.
Y'all remember last week when I was in Africa and I said I have a whole bunch of information that you don't know about?
Every single time I see an American get on the internet to speak about South Africa, without fail, they're going to say something racist. Stop talking about our country, please. Now let's think about this logically for 5 seconds. What is the biggest cause of crime? Poverty. Who are the people in this country, in South Africa, who are the most impoverished? Black people. Farms are not exempt from crime. The reason why the majority of farmers who get unalived are white is because the majority of farmers in this country are white, because the majority of land in this country is owned by white people. There is not an epidemic of white farmers being fucked by black people. That's not what's happening.
Y'all remember last week when I was in Africa and I said I have a whole bunch of information that you don't know about?
Guys, yes, you guys like making it seem as if black people are always a threat. Like, take into consideration that those people might have gotten as a result of the high crime rate in SA. Don't forget to mention that part. Don't forget to mention the fact that a whole bunch of people in SA are passing away because of the high crime rate happening in SA. It's not that a majority of black Africans wake up and they're like, we're gonna target farm owners. No, it's because some people are just criminals and they see an opportunity in those farms and they want to burglarize, rob or those kind of things, and it ends in just like in many other communities. But that does not justify them having to, kill those people. But the fact that you're making it seem as if black people are a threat and that people are intentionally doing these things, especially black people, and that when you see a black person that you don't know, you should just... That's actually promoting violence. Some person might not even be there to steal from you, but the fact that now you have made black people to seem out as if like we're a threat and we just want to, go around people with no intention, like they are criminals. Focus on the fact that just say there is a high crime rate in SA. People are being in SA. There's nothing wrong with just saying that, not making black people as if like we're a threat and we just wake up one day and say, now, yeah, we're gonna go kill them. No, it's because of the high crime rate. Thank you.
Y'all remember last week when I was in Africa and I said I have a whole bunch of information that you don't know about?
If I had a choice between staying on a farm or going to a American school, I would choose the farm. Because it's worse out there in an American school. There's more kids dying there than there's farmers in South Africa. If I had a choice between staying on a farm or getting pulled over by a cop in America, I would choose staying on a farm. Yes, there are farmers. Are they racially motivated? No. It is just crime. The way the demographics within South Africa work is that there are more black Africans in South Africa and basically in Africa. So there are also more Africans that are poor in South Africa. So for them to survive, they turn to crime. Unfortunately, and most of the time, you're going to find that it's not always blacks, but there are blacks or Africans that commit crime. It's because of the demographics, because there's much more poor Africans in Africa. That's just the way it is. It is just crime. If it is so bad and people are dying, then the Caucasians would have left South Africa and Africa a long time ago. But I can tell you there are a lot of Caucasians from around the world still coming into Africa and South Africa to find homes and to build businesses here. It is always you crazy, wannabe famous American clowns that want to make Africa and South Africa seem bad, and you only do it for views, follows. You would sell your family for views and follows and likes. You gotta do better.
Obviously, there's no facts. This is coming from a very trustworthy opinion.
On a scale of my t-shirt to baking powder, how white was this trustworthy opinion? Also, there are facts available. They just didn't want to share them with you and you were too dumb to look anything up for yourself. You said 3,000 people were unalived on farms since 2020. If you were to add up all the unaliving that happened on farms since 1996, it still wouldn't come to 3,000. Secondly, more people of color are unalived during farm attacks than the white farm owners. Let's also not forget that the definition of farm attacks includes people who are not the farm owners, people of color, as well as people who live on small holdings that have nothing to do with farming activities. Did I mention that that statistic includes white farm owners unaliving their black farm workers? There needs to be a name for somebody who says I have no facts, then continues to speak, as well as for the people who then listen to that person with no facts. What's the word?
Please go ahead and share your thought about this video down in the comment section, because hey, that's what we do here. We have conversation. So go ahead and share your thought down in the comment section, but please do it respectfully. So that's what we do here. We have conversation and we'll have it respectfully. Before I go on to share my own opinion, after this woman was called out by a whole lot of people, including South Africa, including black South Africans, this woman decided to post this video.
I remember last week when I was in Africa and I said I have a whole bunch of information that you don't know about.
You didn't fact shit for chick.
Shut up.
I mean, you didn't fact check for shit.
Would y'all just shut the up and leave me alone? Like, oh my god. Nobody's being civil to me at all. One person in my DMs is being civil and actually, like, explaining it to me because I have no idea. Spreading misinformation. Yeah, maybe, but if you listen to my video, I said these are not facts. And, oh, but you said it's facts. These are facts. I said that, right? Okay. Besides the point, not person has been nice to me. Okay, so if I didn't know something, let me know instead of attacking me. My sake. What would you want me to do? You send me the articles and links and you let me know what I should talk about. But instead, we're just going to call me a racist. Great. Spreading misinformation. Yeah, maybe, but if you listen to my video, I said these are not facts.
Okay. Let me try and understand dumb white girl for a second. Okay, spreads misinformation. Yes. Has no idea what they're talking about. Also yes. Gaslights a whole country. Yes. Spreads propaganda. Yes. Wants us to be nice and nicely informed. What the fuck? Like who? I need logic when there's no logic. I struggle. I can't. What the fuck? I'm not built. I'm not.
Instead of attacking me, my sake, what would you want me to do? You said.
I'd start with saying sorry. You came to South Africa. First of all, we're not big on foreign people coming here specifically to hunt, and I'm not entirely sure if that's true, that's why you were here, or if you were just a photographer. But we're not big on hunting. So that just first off. Secondly, you came here, had a lovely time, I'm sure, because we are lovely people. I know we're coming for you right now, but you did infer that we are all covering up a genocide. So, to be fair, we're not very happy about that. Also, you didn't say sorry. You did not apologize. So we're not going to be very nice to you because you came here, you had a lovely time, and then you disrespected us.
Would y'all just shut the fuck and leave me alone? Like, oh my god. Nobody's.
I see you're at the find out portion of this little activity that you're in, and I love that for you. And also to answer your question, no, we won't shut up. No, we won't leave you alone. And we do not owe you civility. We don't owe you to be nice to you, especially the people. You're asking the people that you lied about, right, and degraded to be nice to you and correcting you. Absolutely not. No, we don't owe you that. We don't owe you labor. We don't owe you information. We don't owe you education, especially when Google is free and you can use the same little device that you use to record that video to do your own research. So you don't get on the internet looking stupid and talking about stuff you don't know about. Right? That would have saved you a world of trouble. So yeah, no, to answer your question, we will not shut up. We won't leave you alone, and we don't have to be nice to you.
So clearly, she still does not want to learn. So let me know your thought about the entire videos, people's reaction, and even our own response to people's reaction. Let me know your thought down in the comment section. Clearly, this young woman does not want to learn, even though she's on the internet spreading misinformation about the continent Africa, misinformation about black people, misinformation about South Africa. And yet, rather than her taking this video down and apologizing and saying, you know what, it was just word of mouth, I didn't do my research. The farmers murder thing that she's talking about is a thing. If you follow the South African news and what is happening in South Africa, is a thing that happens in South Africa that has been happening for years. And she just clearly know that she doesn't have information, and she went on to listen to somebody that just want to push out the wrong narrative about South Africa and about Africa, saying that South Africa gave land to black Americans and white Americans, and the white Americans are using the lands to make profit, while the black, Google is your friend. It's a simple Google that they do. But this is what, am I surprised about this? No. This is how people like this go around pushing propaganda, and this is why, guys, you guys should be careful about the people's contents that you consume and where they get their information from. Because a lot of people are on the internet spreading misinformation, causing havoc just because they want to seem woke. It could just be a simple Google, or even ask people that are on ground to educate you on the topic if you don't know. Which some of you guys, like I gave it to you guys here on my channel, you guys are amazing. Some of you guys have educated me so much that I did not know. Rather than coming as if you know what you're talking about, why don't you come from a place of, you know what, I heard something like this and I will need more information. If you know about the situation, come. Rather, she was going around talking about how she can even share people's story of what has happened to them. Anyway, guys, please go ahead and share your thought about this topic down in the comment section. I'd love to know your thought on this. Please share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation. Okay, please go ahead. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, because this helps YouTube to push out my content to more people, and that will be you supporting your girl. So smash the like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, because we have good conversation here and share good information here. So subscribe if you're not, and go ahead and read the comment and share your comment, because hey, that's what we do here. Okay, with that all said, guys, I will see you guys in my next video. Deuces.